It's the morning of the 5th of September 2023. You're very welcome back. Really good weather now today, gone by, and good weather forecast for tomorrow. Hopefully it sticks it. We're going to take a look at woke schools and a few wee things about the education system in Ireland. I knew a school, a convent school, but it's nearly all lay people teaching convent schools in a big town, big county town. And there was an English teacher, a lady. And instead of teaching them the basic stuff like poetry and prose and composition and comprehension and all that kind of stuff, she would teach them maybe 5% of that. But she would teach the rest of it would be real highfalutin stuff that would be for the highest part of university education. It'd be like trying to teach basic spelling, grammar, and all that, and then spending 5% of the time on that, and 95% teaching them James Joyce's Ulysses, when in any event, that question on Ulysses might only come up maybe as a very hard mark question. Now, don't forget, I've done videos already on how to do exams, but I don't think anyone pays any heed of them. That's all right. Now, but by right, if you're setting an examination paper in any topic, you will make sure there's a question on it that will stop students getting 100%. They don't want anyone getting 100%, and I agree with that, because you have to let everyone get the middle ground. So that's normally done to do that. But this one was teaching them this real high stuff, with the result, if they went into the exam, they might get 5 or 6% on her stuff, but they'd fail on all the rest. But she was a dunderhead as well, in a way. In any event, she was that bad, she was that hopeless at teaching the kids English, that even the itinerants, even the travelling people, got grounds. If you had a daughter in the school and she was teaching her English, it was automatic you had to pay for grounds for your daughter. Even the travelling community and all of the working class people all got grounds because your daughter would fail English. That's how bad she was. And then with the grounds, that usually do very well, because they had her 5%, but they had the other bit was paid for by the pockets of the parents, and it would be well done, and they had to go into class at night and get it done, and they got all that. Usually the grains is what, in case anyone is from out of Ireland, grains means additional education outside of the school. Grains, I don't know what they call it elsewhere, that's what they call it in Ireland, GRINDS. You go in and you go into the teacher's house or some hall or something, and you, for an hour, and the teacher, the grind administrator, usually a teacher, doesn't have to be, goes through the exam, knows the examination questions, is well wised up to it, and does the very best for the children to give them a good chance, and they get paid. The money has to be paid over, and they get paid, and it's usually non-taxable. Well, it is taxable if they declared it, but it's done on the QT. Not a big issue. It's better than having the child failing. But this one, her students had to get 100% grounds. 100% grounds, or they'd fail, and they knew it was well known, and a few had failed early on when she started first, and the poor kids was tortured because they'd come home to their mothers with something like maybe the second paragraph of James Joyce. I'm only picking Joyce as an example. I know a bit of Joyce, but I'm only picking that. It'd be that kind of real highfalutin stuff, like maybe some writer who was way back in England or something that wasn't in the normal run-of-the-mill things at all, but might be on the curriculum as an extra. But anyway, that's what happened. But then when the examinations came out in about August or whenever, when they came out, all the kids go into the school to get their examination results. And the examination results are called out and given to the kids. And of course, some are delighted and some fail, and that's the way with it. But in this particular school, this teacher's class always did well. They did very well in English. And when they'd all be gone home, she'd go into the rest of the teachers and she'd brag, I got the top marks in any school in this county. My students did better. And she was fully cocksure that she did that. But anyway, I met her one time and I tackled her. I said, you know you're cheating. What are you on about? I said, you are not teaching the kids. It's Grange that's getting them through the exams. You are not teaching them right. You're insisting on this old highfalutin baloney. And you're putting the kids through torture. Oh, she went nuts. She went nuts. I'm telling you, and I hit the table. What you're doing is wrong. You are annoying the kids. Why don't you teach them what's on the subject? Why don't you teach them what's on the curriculum? It is on the curriculum. You know very well it's only there for a small part of the exam, and they'll all fail. And they did fail before they got grains. I said even the travellers are getting grains. That's how bad you are. Oh, she was ready to hit me. She was ready to hit me, but I give it to her anyway. But I don't think it made any difference. At the moment, they're getting it very hard to get teachers for national and secondary school. In fact, the government is amending the law in Ireland that you can nearly go in without any qualification at all. Now, having said that, I wouldn't be much good at English now, but I'd be good enough at teaching mathematics and Gaelic, perhaps, and history, maybe a bit if it was on the book in front of me. I wouldn't have time. But don't you know, well, they'll get a lot of dunderheads. And apart from the odd one getting grains, it'll mean eventually that the kids will be as dense as planks. And that's happening all over, and in the United States particularly bad. I think it's a great pity, because I said before in the one about Kingsford School, while I got beaten and all that, they did teach us the basics. And I went to Carrickmacross in for college when it was the tech. They taught me plenty there. And then I did a business degree course in 1997, and I got that. But that was of adults, so it stuck to me a bit. But there was no fallen goods at all. But anyway, the thing about it is, do you know what I heard from a big town in the eastern part of the country? Do you know what's happening in the secondary schools? In the girls section, they're getting them to eat insects. They're telling them you can't eat beef, that it destroys the planet. It's creating greenhouse gases, and it's creating all methane and ammonia and all this. And stop eating beef and to eat insects. Can you imagine that? That is absolute fact. That's been taught in the Irish schools. And I'd say a lot of teachers is not going. Nobody wants the job. Why would any decent man's son or daughter want to be a teacher when you have to come along and teach kids to eat insects? That's what our state has come to. Now, my thing to them, if I could, I'm not in a position, because I was told confidentially, it's very genuine. Go to the teacher or bring in a big lump of a worm, a big blackhead, and see will they eat him. But that is what we're gone to with this woke, cultural Marxist stuff. And the teachers is worse. Some of them is worse than the government that's pushing it. They're all anti-farming, all pro-renewables, all this old thing. All LGBTQ to excess. I keep saying I'm not against gay people. I voted yes for the equality thing. But this has gone to hell, and it's the same in America, where they want children to be brought on tours and things by drag queens and people and all this sort of stuff. I mean, it's only a couple of years ago since we were jailing people for looking at children pornography. And it's still a crime. But this is the way it's going with kids, and this is what we're producing. You have to eat insects. And if you read Joyce's Ulysses, you'll see that, I think it was Leopold Bloom himself. He went to the toilet in Dublin, where he had the house, somewhere, I forget now where it was, we'd say Spitfield or somewhere. But the toilet was a shed out the house. The toilet was not, there was no flush toilets away back long ago. You went out to the ditch. That's the way it was. And sometimes there was geranium pots, they call them, which was posed, like, really, and they were humped into the river if there was one nearby. I've seen it all over the place. I've been working for houses and doing work, and I've seen it. Now, where you have excrement of any kind, whether it's animal or human, you will have flies. if it's exposed. And the flies light on it and walk around. And they'll come in if they can, and they'll walk around the butter, saving your presence. That's the reality of what insects are. Well, she ate a blue bottle, or as we call them, a blue arch fly. Huh? Where's the fly coming from? Where's the insect coming from? And apparently one of them she produced had wings and was fluttering, and she wanted some of the kids to eat it and eat liver. And I think she got a taker. Isn't that something that we're on to that stage? Folks, on 10 minutes, it's time for me to turn in. Good luck. We'll see you back. Please comment underneath. And if it's a fact, it's an absolute fact. They'll not get teachers. Enoch Burke is back. Enoch Burke is back at school. He was jailed for some of this stuff. You know, I mean, does it any wonder we can't get staff to run public service, even though with the conditions and all, maybe it suits people? It's no wonder. What are we going to do? Is there any way of killing them off? I mean killing off the politicians doing it. I don't mean killing them off physically. I mean killing off their political careers, getting them out, rooting them out. And I have to say, I don't think there is. I think they have it round their finger, and we'll never be able to change this stuff. Anyway, folks, again, I'm only saying, when I say kill off, not the best way of saying it, I mean kill off the careers, destroy the careers. And I admit I have set out to destroy the careers of most established political parties and their members and their politicians. We'll see you back for something else, and goodbye and thank you.